Hello, everybody. Welcome to TJK Shares. This is a channel where you'll get to hear Twesigye Kaguri and many other people who are involved in my life or who have been cornerstones in building this gentleman you see in front of you. My name is Twesigye Kaguri. I was born and raised in Uganda in a tiny village called Nyaka, aka Nyaka. Why are we here today? We are here to share some of the knowledge, skills, some of the disappointments, some of the experiences, and everything that I know that I have learned in my 50 years of age, now going into 51, but most importantly, in my 21 years of running an organization called Nyaka, 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 Nyaka. Why am I saying it 3 times? That's how Nyaka has been important in my life. That's how Nyaka is important to so many people around the world. Nyaka is an organization I started 20 years ago in a tiny village where I was born and raised. It's still there, operating at a huge international level, now referred to Nyaka Global. For you to understand what Nyaka Global is and where it began, we will refer you to the website www.nyakaglobal.org. This man in front of you was born in a tiny village called Nyaka. My father, Eric Kaguri, my mother, Janet Kaguri, bless her heart, she's passed away in 2020. This man and woman who met and fell in love in weird circumstances that we'll talk about later in this series, fell in love and had 5 children. The man in front of you, Jackson, is the tiny, pinky last born of the 5. The man and woman who never went to school, ladies and gentlemen, worked so hard tilling their land, raising their animals, chickens, goats, and cows, and sent all 5 children to school. You will hear through this series how a fifth of a pencil made this man go to school, shared with 3 sisters and a brother, and we all got an education because our parents were determined that we would break the cycle of poverty and become better human beings and global citizens of the world. I got my education and went through quickly, finished all primary, secondary, high school, university in Uganda, and then got an amazing, life-changing opportunity to attend Columbia University in New York, where I studied human rights, became a human rights advocate. The story of entering New York City for the first time is the story that will cover the whole series. You'll hear more about it. While I was at Columbia, ladies and gentlemen, my oldest brother, Frank, passed away because of HIV/AIDS. 7 months later, my sister who followed him, also passed away because of HIV/AIDS. That tragedy, like President Jimmy Carter wrote on one of the books I've written, that the work I have done is turning tragedy into hope for others. That tragedy of losing the siblings that I looked up to turned me into something I had not even thought about. I always knew that injustice is bad. I saw injustice growing up, but I never knew that I would be the man who goes back to the village where I was born and raised and start a school for children who were orphaned mainly because of HIV/AIDS. That's what brought Nyaka into what it is now. What is it now? It's an organization that serves more than 100,000 people. 86,000 of those are children who are living with grandmothers, which we call Nyaka Grandmothers Program. 20,000 grandmothers spread in 3 districts of Uganda, Kanungu, Rubanda, and Rukunji. These are the unsung heroes who are uplifting children's lives every single day, and many don't know their stories. During this TJK Shares, you'll hear more about these grandmothers. Nyaka as an organization has built a clinic, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were the hope for the community. We have immunized people, we have distributed masks, and we continue to be at the forefront of fighting this pandemic that has affected our world. Nyaka organization has schools. We have educated children from zero to graduation, from drivers and cooks and construction workers to teachers, engineers, and doctors, to kids who are spread in India, in Dubai, and in Canada, and some aspiring now to come to United States to pursue PhDs and masters so they can continue to be global citizens. Nyaka provided clean water systems for women who had never dreamt of having clean water. We have created 20,000 entrepreneurs in women who borrow through our microfinance funds. We built the first ever community library in the villages where we serve, dressed children in purple and green, smiling patterned with bombas socks that provides them the amazing, comfortable, expensive socks that many people in this USA can't afford to buy, but children who are orphaned and left behind enjoy these comfortable socks thanks to bombas. Nyaka has influenced people from Nyaka village to Korea, to Japan, to China, to Singapore, to Brazil, to every continent you can think of. Nyaka has a foundation there and supporters. Nyaka is currently registered in the UK, United Kingdom, in Canada, and in USA, and more branches of Nyaka Global coming. Ladies and gentlemen, this all started because of the dream of one man, and that man, I happen to know him, is talking to you now. So the series will take you back to one person can make a difference. To those of you who want to make a difference in the world, but you are still doubting, here you'll find solutions and guidance on how to do it. To those amazing leaders and mentors who have been in my life and mentored me, you have to come and hear what you have planted in this world and the seeds that is spreading throughout the world. To those who are still growing up and think you can't make a difference in the world, this is your space. To all board members and past board members and staff and volunteers who have made Nyaka what it is, this is your space. I have led this organization for 21 years. I would like to step back and look at how can we inspire more visionaries in the world to also make a difference and lead organizations that are successful, are transparent, are credible, and have a world view just like Nyaka has. This is the space you will learn leadership skills, the space you learn how to be vulnerable, it's the space where you learn that sharing is caring, and TJK cares about you, which is why we come to share these lessons. To all Nyaka graduates and students, current and past, share this with your own children. Many of you are married, many of you are fathers now, and you are passing on the legacy. There are more references we'll share. I've written books for adults. A School for My Village was the first book. I refer to it as President Jimmy Carter endorsing it. Victory for My Village was another book for adults that is there. The third book is coming, Legacy for My Village. But we'll also mix in this series the children who are born and raised in circumstances where they can't touch a book or read. We will bring children books series throughout some of these discussions. I've written 4 books. The 5th one is coming this fall. These are books written by me, the story by me, illustrated by other individuals who are all from Uganda. The stories are all over the world, but the purpose of these books continues to be inspiration for young readers and writers around the world. If this man who grew up using a fifth of a pencil can write a book, yes, you can. Each one of you is a book story. So we'll talk about writing books. We'll talk about when you read a book, and find there people who look like you, who think like you, who sleep in a house like you sleep in. What does that do to you as a reader? It inspires you to read more. I'll introduce you to 4 amazing children, biological children. Nicholas, who is finishing his 2nd year of university in engineering department at Rochester Institute of Technology. Nolan, amazing middle son, who is 10 years old and loves to play basketball, baseball, and again, bring it, he will play. Talia and Tessa are amazing twin girls who are 8 years old, love to read. Tessa wants to be a ballerina dancer. Talia wants to be a doctor. And since I've worked with so many children and saw them graduating and becoming successful, one of the biggest missions for me as a father is also to see these biological 4 children go through this universe as citizens of the world, and I want to be there as their father, guiding every step. You will meet them in TJK Shares. You will hear everything about me. You will ask questions, we will respond. We have an amazing producer in Matt Stubber. 9 years of knowing this amazing man,